Yeah, I think just staying small enough for long enough will be big enough soon enough is more than
Oh,
all you
I
need.
like that. I like that saying. What is it? Stay small enough for long enough. What was it?
So if you stay small enough for long enough,
Yeah.
you'll be big enough soon enough.
You'll be big enough. Sorry, I've got to write this down.
Yeah,
You'll be
it's all
big
good.
enough
Soon
soon
enough.
enough. I love that, man.
Just let it take its course, you know?
Yeah, man. I love that. I love that saying.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
tracks obviously on the lot.
He became steel listed.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another podcast. Today, I have a guest with me all the way from Western Australia, and he is known as the Dirt Cartel. So I'll give you Jimi. Is that Trengrove? I can't say it properly. Jimi Trengrove.
Close enough, man. Close enough.
Yeah, that's it. Welcome, man. Welcome, Jimi. Thanks for joining.
Thanks for having me, man. I really appreciate it.
No worries. And this is not your first time, like we were just saying a bit earlier. This is your second radio. You jumped on one of my live Sunday sessions and that, so it was good to have you on there.
No, it's good. I think what you do is really, really cool because you get that chance to. Obviously, I'm in Western Australia, but you have that chance to basically, I ask my frustrations to what's going on the rest of the side of Australia, sort of thing. So me, like, are you guys busy? Is it competitive? What's happening? You know, so
Yeah.
the same sort of thing. It's good. It's somewhat relieving to hear that we're all out there having a red hot crack.
Yeah, that's it, man. That's it. And it is. It's somewhat similar all around Australia. And in fact, through the podcasts now, I'm learning that it's very similar around the world. Like we're not much different to the rest of the world, you know? Yeah.
It's a tight market at the moment, and we're all just trying to keep our heads above water.
Yeah, true. Very true, man. Very true. All right. Well, look, for all the guys that don't know you, I love the name, man. By the way, the Dirt Cartel, that's an awesome name, man. How did you come up with that before we go any further?
Oh, man, I'm sure there's children listening, so we probably can't talk about it too much, but it was it became it was about 10 years ago. I was maybe 20, 22, 23, and we just were coming up with business names. We kept thinking of things that were stupid, and it wasn't anything to do with Earthworks. I was
Yeah.
working in Earthworks at the time, but we were coming up with business names and stupid things, and just silly things. And then that was one of the names that come up. And this was 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, few beers, them sort of carry on sessions. And then it just stuck with me and I know you wake up in the morning and you go, oh yeah, but I just kept remembering it. And then eventually we come along with something, and then the idea is we call ourselves DCC when we have to be like around professionals. Realistically, we're not those fancy people that they try and make Earthworks out to be. We're the raw ferals that absolutely love it. So we're the Dirt Cartel.
That's it, man. I love it. I love that name. Good, very good. All right, well, let's go back in time a little bit. Tell us how you got into the industry. How did you get into it?
I started on a shovel. I got a job when I was 20-ish, I think, and I got a job with Atco Gas. They're like your gas connecting company, so you do your gas connections, and there was a lot of hand digging in that. But there was also a 1.7 ton digger. And so I got nominated to be the guy that goes and gets his ticket. And if we have a long dig, so to speak, we pull the digger out and dig it, sort of thing. Otherwise, that's where that started. And then I moved to Sydney for a little bit in Narrabeen. And as much as I rag out on people bluffing now and trying to do it, that's exactly what I did. I told a bloke that I had a bit of digger experience. And I started working for a company called Jericho Earth Moving in the Northern Beaches. Dave Smith, he's a really good bloke. And it's skyrocketed or gone from there, really, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. So the move to Sydney, was that just for work, or you just like happened to?
No. It was like I was 20 something, and we just wanted to travel a bit and go around and cruise and see some spots, see some places. We had some family friends that lived over there, so we moved over there. We were coming from WA too, so you'd rent a room back then for like $100 a week, and we got to Sydney and it was $320, $350 a week, and we were like, what are we doing? Like, we couldn't believe it, it was out of control. Yeah, we had to get jobs basically immediately. My little brother, he followed over as well pretty soon after. And there was kind of a little rat pack of us having a crack.
Yeah. So what'd you do in Sydney? What was the sort of work there that you did?
We went up to like about a 6-tonner back then. And that was basically there was a fair variety in that, because it's like the backyard stuff through to like the steep terrain work, especially in Avalon, and all the fancy rich people. They want their houses on hills, mate. and they don't understand how you can't do what they want, even though they have the money. We did a lot of sawing work as well, hammering work. But yeah, some interesting things really. Nothing I had prior experience in, so it was all quite a learning curve though.
Yeah. And how'd you go, like, getting that work? Like, how was it for you? Because I know, like, a lot of listeners struggled to, like, start out and stuff. How did you go? Yeah.
It was there. I was still working for a bloke, but that was like the experience work I gained with him. But he, to be honest, the funny story, we did a job on a road called Ruckus Row, I think it is, in Avalon. It's quite a fancy street. And we were doing the job there, and I don't know how that came about, but the guy who lived next door was, I don't know his name, but I know his face. He's some chef from TV or something. And he came over and asked and just said, "Hey, could you have a look at this job next door? I want to demo this house. I want a full site cut, this and that." And I must have been 23. Yeah, mate, yeah. After work, I'll come over, give you a quote. Had no idea what I was doing. Absolutely full of shit. Went next door and just said to him, like, "Oh, man, there's a fair bit in this. We probably have to do it on an hourly or something." And he went, "Yeah, oh, all right, okay." And I remember ringing my boss going, "I think I won us our next job. It's next door." And then he couldn't believe it, sort of thing. Yeah, even from then, I had a real red hot keen attitude of like, "Nah, I can do that. We can get it done." Yeah.
Yeah, that's good, man. And then just recently, I was talking about, like, the perfect employees and how, how to keep good workers and that. And I was saying one of the good things, one of the positives out of a good employee is someone that can actually find more work for you as well. So that's good. Yeah, that's just a prime example of an employee finding work for their.
Yeah. At the time, I just wanted to. It sounds funny, but I just wanted to get in something bigger. Like I think we just bought a brand new 8-tonner where we were, and I was like, "This is pretty cool, but we've got to get in something bigger. We've got to get in something bigger." And I think we hired a 20 for that job, and I kind of was like, "Whoa, yeah, we've got something pretty big." But in comparison now to where I've gone and worked, but at the time that was incredible. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So what about, so tell us a bit more then. Yeah, so what? So you started doing a bit more stuff there in Sydney and that, and then what happened after that?
I left Sydney after about 3 years and shot back to WA and went straight up north. I went up north as a digger operator there, just in the civil mining spec sort of stuff. And then I just continued that for about 6 or 7 years, just from different jobs, and then obviously through to different machinery, graders, dozers, just mixing it up from just diggers there. And then the hunt, the ego game of trying to get in a production digger came in. So trying to get in the biggest digger you ever could, that definitely came in, and really pursued that for a long time. Got there and went, "This is boring as hell, stuff this."
Yeah. It's funny. Yeah, a lot of people do say that. Yeah, like that's the ultimate goal. But then when they get there, they're like, "Is this it? Like, I'm just sitting here, for hours."
I think it's more, it's the hunt, because like if someone says you can't do that or you wouldn't be able to, or that sort of language towards yourself, you're like, "No, I can. No. I don't know. It's inbuilt in you I can do that." So I pursued that, and we ended up, I think the biggest we got in was an Lee Bear 9800, so like 800 tonner, and swung them, and it was like, that was, you just got over it pretty quick. Just enjoy more the challenge, I guess, man. That's probably the better way to put it.
Yeah. How did you go about getting work up there? Because a lot of people talk about getting in fly out jobs and going up to WA. Like, is it easy, or maybe was it different back then? Maybe.
I think it's easier now more than ever. But at the time, you had, I went and got other tickets then. So instead of just having my digger ticket, I went and got a roller ticket and my HR at the time, and then a Moxie ticket and things like that. Trying to and a water cart one too. So I wasn't just going there like, "Hi, I'm a digger op." You had, like, at that stage there, you had the Irish invasion, if you want to call it that, and those boys at the time, when those boys come over, they were plus or minus 2 mil proper trimmers. So you couldn't go up there and go, "Yeah, I'm a digger operator," and then and not be like perfect final trim, because you stand out in seconds. You're going to look stupid trying to claim you're something that you're not. So I went up there and just jumped in a lot of things. These days, honestly, you get a job. I don't know. I find it quite easy if you just Google or Seek or whichever preferred you use. But I think there's heaps of work out there.
Yeah. Interesting, man. Interesting. Yeah. All right. And then how did that go? So after you got sick of that, what happened then?
We went to just back to civil, where it was, you can put some flair on your work. Like I spoke about the Irish boys being really good. It's like that pursuit of chasing to be as good as them, I guess, and really going after it. And then yeah, it wasn't long after then I just started getting inexperienced supervisors, or maybe I was a little bit big headed, or maybe I thought I knew better, but kind of got sick of being told you got to do it like this or you should do that, and that's where the wheel started turning of like, no, let's go do this by ourselves. We don't, that's wrong. Or you go, just situations took place is an easier way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Interesting, man. Interesting. And then, so what? So is that when it sort of prompted you to buy your own stuff, or what happened?
Yeah, yeah, man, for sure. So that was like obviously always a dream for then, and a goal to go, oh, I'd be sick if we could just get our own machine. I could just do this and that. And when I'd be home from swings as well, I quite often hire something from Coates Hire or other hiring companies. There's a good bloke down our way, Saunders. He's a good fella. I'd hire diggers off him and do jobs for mates or do other little jobs here and there in the meantime. And then that kind of got the wheel turning to be like, hang on, I could probably do this just full time. I don't need a work away or work up north, and that kind of got it rolling. I guess just hiring machines, usually hiring machines on like a pretty expensive day rate to then work basically for the first 2 to 3 hours for free to cover the day rate, and then the next bit becomes your sort of money.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true, man. That's true.
Strategy was thinking like that, like, all right, so the machine costs this much a day, I'll be this much an hour. First 2 hours are free, all right, and then now I start making money. Never accounted for fuel. That was a real rookie error at the start. Never went, 2 hours covers the machine, and then I'm making money. Never thought, hang on, I've burnt 80 liters of diesel today, or like whatever you've done. Never considered that once. Obviously now a bit wiser, but yeah, at the time, just used to think I was making money when I definitely wasn't.
Yeah, that's good, because I was going to ask you about that. Is there anything that you sort of learnt, any lessons that you can talk about? And that's probably one of them. Yeah, like you got to allow for everything, isn't it?
Lesson number 1: don't do anything the way I've done it. I've definitely done it wrong. What can I improve on? Everything. Yeah, shit. I guess one of the best stuff ups I've ever done. It's a pretty good one. I was fueling up the truck to put heaps of fuel in it to take it to a job. And I got distracted and I was just doing something, and I went and paid, and I just hop back in the car, not the truck, but like the fuel trailer basically. Yeah, just hop back in the car and just drove off. Fuel pump still attached into the car, into the trailer with all the fuel line on it, and just straight down the highway like an idiot. Yeah, I've made plenty of rookie mistakes and plenty of just dumb things for sure. Like, by no means am I anywhere near perfect.
Oh man, we all do it, man. We all do it. That's how you learn. You learn from your mistakes. That's what happens.
Yeah.
You live and learn. All right. So, what was tell us about? So, was that when you sort of started your business? Yeah. Like, what did you start out with? So, you were hiring machines and that. You made the decision, obviously, that's it. I'm going out on my own. But yeah, tell us. So, what have you got? What machines have you got? What have you had?
I just went straight into the deep end and bought a brand new 36 tonner. Straight into it. GPS. So I've got a 2025 Sany SY365 Pro at the moment, with Raptor Tech. So Unicontrol GPS model, complete mine spec build. The business model was pretty straightforward. We're going up north, where that was the goal. That's where there's a fair bit of money to be made subbing up there. That didn't come to plan. A few good lessons to be learned in that, I guess, as well. Pretty funny ones. Never turn down work is a good one, just because you think you might have a better thing coming. But yeah, so with that, we've got the Sany. Yeah, no tilt hits or anything like that at the moment. Realistically couldn't afford it at the time. But then just your GP, batter, trench, and ripper, really. Yeah.
And with the GPS and all that, I suppose you're looking for more sort of that type of civil work with where you need that equipment. Is that right?
Yeah, correct. So like there's the fine line between like that'll do, and then like the precise side of things with what I try to chase. And some people want it precise but don't want the bill that comes with that, with the time it takes to have it look, showroom work. And then other people want it rough enough, close enough, but also kind of want it really fancy. So yeah, I guess I toe between the line of just absolutely making something look immaculate, or like, oh, that's pretty close to for them. But yeah, the GPS definitely helps you with that. You obviously still operate. The GPS isn't doing any of the work for you besides saving some poor bloke with a laser level standing out there. That's honestly what the difference is.
Yeah. And what made you? So when did you buy that? That's a couple of years back, or?
Nah, the Sany. So before that, we had like an older little 1.7 ton Kubota, but the Sany we only bought recently.
Okay.
Yeah.
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 And what made you go for that size? I mean, it's a pretty big machine, especially going from a 1.7. Yeah, I know
Yeah.
you're looking
Yeah.
for that type of work. So what actually made you go for that size? Yeah.
I spoke with a few people, and then I was like, oh, I'm looking at this 21. And then the length of work I was going after, someone kept going, oh, really? Can you get something bigger, like a client? And I was like, yeah. What do you want? And then he was like, oh, like just something bigger than that. And I was like, oh, okay, 50? And he was like, no, not that big, not that big. So in my head, I'm like, right, I'm somewhere between a 21 and a 50 tonner. Somewhere in there's going to be the magic number. And then I seen an ad. It was ran. I seen a Facebook ad of a company. I can't remember their name, but they were advertising that they've just got a whole new fleet ready for dry hire. Like they had 5 or 6 cat 30 tonners, and it was just right there and then the penny dropped in the head. And I was like, we need to be better than them, so we need to get a little bit bigger. The 36 kind of come from that idea, I guess, just from seeing a Facebook ad of a different company. I was like, right, they've got heaps of them. I can't compete with them. I need something that I stand out with, I guess. Yeah. And I don't go
Yeah.
for the dry hire option. It's just a wet hire. So it's just me and a machine. So you've got that owner operator going to rock up, going to do the job, not having a sick day sort of mentality, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. That's good decisions I'm making. Yeah, that's good because I always try and make it so that people can, see like what the process was, like the thought process. So that's good, man. The way you've said it there. And then, so you're saying that you thought you might have some work, but it didn't sort of work out. How'd you work around that? How'd you?
Hey, this is a classic. This is
Yeah,
so
tell
good.
us.
These are all lessons for not for anybody else but myself, realistically, because I doubt anybody listening to this would have been as stupid as me, really. But so I had a friend call me, absolute legend. They said, we got some work, blah, blah, blah. I went, you beauty. They said, oh, it's a long contract. I got really excited. I said, how long? They're like 3 years. I'm like, holy shit, this is a 3-year mining contract. It's hard not to get excited because, you discuss the rates that we'd put forward. I'm doing the numbers on like the rates in my head going, I can buy that yacht. Like I was getting
Yeah.
so excited sort of thing. And then I was like, I'd call, every couple of days, hey, mate, have we heard anything? Hey, mate, when are we going? All right, we're going this day. Cool, we're going, more excitement, like, we're going. And then in the meantime, someone rang me, said, hey, mate, got a 6 months work for you. Do you want to take it? And I went, nah, I'm kind of locked in on this other thing, I was like, when do you need to go? He's like, we need you to leave in, 2 days' time. And I was like, oh, when do I have to give you an answer by? And he's like, kind of now. Otherwise, I've got to make the next call and this bloke will take it. And I'm like, look, I'll let it slide, man, because I'm pretty locked in with this next thing. Idiot. Absolute idiot. And as you can already see where it goes, that work doesn't come through. The 3-year contract, it doesn't come through. And I immediately, grab, hey, mate, nah, mate, already gone. So that contract, both contracts were gone. Didn't win either of them in the end. So, yeah, I guess it's a valuable lesson for me now, which I stick by. Is if someone calls, I go
Yeah.
in that regard. Whether it's an hour's work, which, well, actually probably not an hour, but
Yeah.
whether it's a week's work or it's going to be 6 months work or it's going to be 3 years or whatever the contract is, we go.
Yeah.
Probably a
Yeah.
minimum a week. We'll say that, but yeah.
Yeah, that's a fair call because, yeah, you're right, man. It's happened. It happens to me as well, man. It happens a lot. You'd be surprised, yeah, because you get all excited. They promise you stuff, and even like buying machines. People on job sites would be like, "Man, if you had a 15-ton machine, we'd give you heaps of work. Go get one and put an operator on. We'll give you plenty of work." So you go and do it, and then you're there for a week, and then they go, "Oh no, we don't need your machine anymore." And you're like, "Hang on a sec, I just bought this machine." So the opposite can happen as well, man. Yeah, it's just crazy.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Uh,
they're saying that I've got a situation at the moment where someone definitely wants me. They're far away from me. I'm in Western Australia. They're in Darwin. They're saying, when can you get here? The moment you get here, we'll have you digging, and we've got plenty of work for you, so to speak. I was like, no worries. Just send across the mobilisation fee of what it would cost for me to get there, etc. Oh, no, we're not interested in the mobilisation fee. We're looking to give you an opportunity as, work up in Darwin sort of thing. And I'm like, I could mobilise myself there at close to $30,000 to move that machine up there and do a week's work, and you guys tell me, that's it. No way am I going,
yeah.
You got to sometimes turn down work, if that makes sense, when it doesn't add up.
Yeah, yeah. That's a big That's a big distance as well, man. Exactly right, and a big
Well, the
cost.
4,300 Ks, bro. I mapped it myself, and I was like, it's a big distance for a job.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah, what do? You need to keep
yeah,
chasing work.
yeah. That's true. It's true. How is it now? A quick shout out to our platinum sponsors, Earth Moving Warehouse and Melbourne Tractors. Like, how's it been for you now? Like, are people getting to know you and starting to call you more and stuff like that?
Yeah, so since obviously going from like, I wouldn't say, no, not the backyard bandit, but the small works bandit, basically, like just doing this, doing that, hiring this to, yeah, I do get some calls still from like those crew, like, oh, now that you've got your machine, do you reckon you could pop on over and we could just dig this thing here? I'm like, mate, I don't have what you think I've got. Like, I don't have an 8-tonner.
Yeah,
For me to get to your house and not charge you any money, that's $1,200 just in float, and that's getting a hell deal, And they're like, "Oh, what? It's only just down the road." I'm like, "That's what it costs to move this thing." So
yeah,
in a way, it's been a bit of a blessing because you don't have to do all these small little favor jobs to help your mates out. But yeah, no, it's working. It's working a bit better than I planned, to be honest, which is like quite a positive. I was a little bit concerned for probably a week. Yeah, there was like that, that week where it just stretches a bit longer than you plan things to happen. But yeah, now it's come pretty good. Yeah.
yeah. Oh, that happens, man. It happens. Yeah, ups and downs and quiet times and that. I was going to actually ask her. So you said you got the Sany 36 tonner. What was your decision in decision making process in getting that brand? Like, what made you go for that over other brands?
Obviously, I'm Jimmy. There's another Jimmy.
It's in the name, is it?
I talked with him a bit. I was already, what's the wording for this? So I'm quite, I wouldn't say nerd level, but like pretty want to know what's going on. Want to know what like the interior specs on, and also not interior, internal specs of things. I want to compare the pair. I want to see cubed buckets, like all that stuff. So when I heard Jimmy talk about the Sannies, and then I had someone, I was looking at them, and someone said to me like, "Oh, you're looking at that Chinese shit, are you?" And like, well, they were quite negative about it, and I was like, just because mine's got 4 letters, and well, I didn't at the time have that, but just because this has got 4 letters and not 3 letters doesn't make it any different.
Yeah,
And so I looked into the comparisons, and I started comparing like size to weight ratios, and not to the point of having PowerPoints, but basically once I was pretty adamant about it, I'd lecture people
yeah,
like, nah. Look at this internal here, quacker pumps on that, Isuzu pushing harder out here, that motor on that. Look at your fuel economy, like just, and I didn't even have one, but I like almost a salesman for him for a bit there.
yeah,
And then yeah, it was when I finally went down to the yard, or actually not the yard. I got invited to a lunch by one of these like one of the dealership people, and they get you good. They put the piss on, they put the food on.
yeah.
You end up with your hat on sideways, like the whole thing. And then
You walk out with a machine. Yeah,
it wasn't exactly that case, but it wasn't far off it. But yeah,
yeah,
I sat in them, and then I kind of went down there with this attitude. All right, let's just, because I went to a lot of different machine dealerships, like a lot of different ones, and I went there and I sat in the Sany, and I hopped in, and I was like, right, let's just quickly pull this, pull a bit of dirt, move around a bit, see how it feels, see how much it bounces when you're at full reach, all that sort of stuff. I was kind of trying to put it down for. And then I was sitting there just trying to find something wrong with it. And the little bits and bobs that I could pick, I'm like, mate, you're being a bit of a spoiled prick here. Like, it's perfect. It's exactly what you're after. It's heavy. It's this, like the things I was looking for. So yeah, that's why I don't know. Once I made my mind up, I was pretty adamant. And yeah, we got it within maybe 3 weeks or 4 weeks after just going, yeah, all right, we'll take it. Like, it was finished, it was built to the spec we needed, and we've been off digging since.
there you go, man. There you go. What about now? Like, any regrets or anything that you wish you got maybe a bit different or anything?
Yeah, wish I got a tilt hitch on the thing straight away. At the time, it's the most it's the most amount of money I've ever spent on anything. It was $405,000 fully built. With GPS and a whole lot. I'm not from any money. I'm not some loaded bloke. I'm just having a red hot crack. So at the time, the tilt hits for an additional $30,000 seemed like, like that's out of reach. That's you dreaming. And the fact that I didn't really have too many big jobs lined up for it straight away, so I was a bit nervous. But that would have been the icing on the cake if I could have put that on straight away. That'll come eventually, but a bit down the track, I think. Yeah.
It's good. It's good that you say that it's a big amount, man. It's a big risk, and it goes to show you don't have to be a full rich person to start off. You can have a good crack and try, but it's a big risk, isn't it? Yeah, the old sphincter would have been going. Yeah.
Oh mate, look, I'm fully aware that like if you buy a machine the size I bought, normally you've got quite a fleet behind you and you step up to getting something like that, or you've already got a long-term contract like I thought I had, which I didn't. But you've got that stuff lined up, and you've got well, you've definitely got like a service truck behind you, or you've got I didn't have any of that at the time, and I still don't have most of the things that you probably would assume I'd have to owning something like that and getting things done.
Yeah,
Why not?
yeah. So I can only imagine if you did get one of the other brand names, like it'd be a lot more than that again, wouldn't it?
Look, I'll give you a comparison. I don't mean to put anything down, but the three-lettered one that ends in T, for the same machine that I wanted, was 610, I think. Yeah, with built to the same spec as mine's built. Now, obviously, it's not built the exact same, but like say with the mine spec finish, the GPS finish, all the buckets and the ripper and that I've got. Yeah, so it's quite a saving. And I went with Sunny too. They come with an 8,000 warranty on all 14 or 13 major moving parts. So it's a pretty extensive warranty. I've had no issue with mine already. I've only got about 500 on it at the moment, but it's been awesome. I think I sent you that video the other day of changing bucket. I've got this ginormous iPad just to like you're some fancy guy in a spaceship, like you're driving a Tesla.
Yeah.
I know obviously the newer machines from different brands probably have that too. I don't doubt it for a second, but you do feel like you're pretty fancy in this, as people would say, these Chinese things, which I think they're.
Yeah. No, that's good. Yeah, they are. They're all starting to get really modern now. Yeah, even the little 5-tonners and that now are getting little iPad screens and that. Yeah, it's pretty full on. Man, that's so good to hear that you were able to take that risk, man. And like a lot of people wouldn't have the guts to do that. Like even when I was buying 20-tonners for $250 and stuff, I was worried. So let alone 400s and stuff. That's a lot of money, man. But it's working out. It looks like it's happening for you.
It's definitely been okay for now anyway, man. I mean, we can all get excited and be, over the moon. It's pretty easy to do that, especially when the phone rings and someone suggests something or asks something, you're like, oh, here we go. But the phone rings a lot, but, you've got to remember it might ring a lot. What actually comes of all those phone calls, that's probably the biggest thing I've learned. A lot of people blow wind up your ass, I guess is the best expression for it, So, yeah, it's just head down, slow left, slow right. Keep digging.
Yeah, because I mean, like a machine like that, I'm going to ask you a little bit about advertising and stuff. Like, how do you spread the word about your machine and what you do? Because I imagine, you're not able to just go and do little backyard jobs and stuff and landscaping jobs with that. That's a machine that you need on bigger jobs. So how are you going about like spreading the word and advertising and that?
I'm probably anyone that owns a big company's worst nightmare. I'm an absolute pest. If you tell me to get nicked on Monday, that means I call you Tuesday just to let you know I'm still here. That's what I had to do at the start. I think we worked it out. It was something like it's the terrifying. I think it was close to 6,000 phone calls for the first job.
Yeah.
I was in South Australia. I was in Western Australia, but I was calling South Australia. I was calling Darwin. I was calling people in Brisbane subdivision saying I'll float it over. I'll come. I was, there was no stopping us till we got our first, good sized contract. I went down the road of going, just Googling the word Earthworks and then calling every business that had come up with that. Then Googling the word Siteworks and calling every business that way at the start to see if people needed me. And then kind of the penny dropped. I keep calling people who have machines to see if they need a machine. This makes no sense. This is stupid. And then I was like, plumbers and drainers. No, they've already kind of got their own thing. And then it just, electrical contractors was the bam. They won't have a machine this size and they need it for their trenches. So, that's how it worked, I guess, just from calling and calling and calling. And then, hey, how have you been? Yeah, last time you didn't need me. What about now? That's how I had to get it started, to be honest.
Yeah, the persistence, man. You sound so much like me. That's how I was. I was ringing up people and they're like, I've already got machines. Like, I don't really need you.
Exactly.
I've got my own. And I was like, Oh yeah, it doesn't make sense. I'm ringing them down like, but if you ever do need one, or or you haven't got that size, call me. And then you never know, man. I actually think I can't remember that far back now, but I remember I think there was someone that called me once and said, "Hey man, you said you had a 20-tonner. I might need one." And then you never know. Yeah, you never know what comes out of it. But yeah, persistence is key, man. You're right.
I remember I watched this I didn't go watch some self-help video or how to do a business or anything, but like I seen like one of those shorts on Facebook, and it was the Wolf of Wall Street talking about how like bam, you got to sell someone something and they need you, and they're probably going to do worse in their life if they never got you. Basically, you got to make it out like that.
Yeah.
And you used to call these big companies and you get admin, and they'd be
Yeah.
like, right, g'day, how you going, blah blah blah, and they go, yeah, nah, we don't need any subbies, or no, we're not looking for new vendors. Send us an email. And I kept getting send us an email. And basically in my head, I took it as send us an email is like, nope, you're gone. Like,
Yeah.
you've lost. So then I had to work out like phrases and ways of like getting past admin, like getting to different stages. And then you get through to the vendor, like, or the logistics manager or procurement person. And then you'd be chatting for a bit. And they'd be like, oh, you have to bluff a bit. But I spoke with Gary last week. Gary? Yeah, Gary. Gary probably never worked there. But, you had to, like, keep it going to, like, get to the next level. And then finally you get onto, like, the logistics managers, and you'd be like, mate, do you need a 36 tonner? I've got one. I'm good to go. So, like, that took ages trying to get through the stages of call it the security of where the work is. You want to get to it. So sending an email I've found can work, but in my personal experience and opinion, 98% of it is a fucking waste of time.
Yeah. I love it, man. I love it. You got to peel back those layers, man, and just keep working.
You got to get through them.
Yeah, keep working your way in, man. I love it. That's so good, man. That's good. This is what listeners need to hear, man, that you just got to keep trying it. And there's different ways. Look at things from different angles. And like you say, a lot of times you hit like an admin person that has no idea, doesn't really even care, probably busy filing their nails. They're like, oh,
they're sitting on Facebook or something, and they don't realize you're like dead on the line going, I really need to get this work. This is serious. I've got to get some money coming in ASAP. Yeah. And there's Hannah or whoever, I don't know, sorry to use names, but there's, sorry, it doesn't even have to be a female either, just whoever going, oh, the footy's on, and they're not even in it. And you're on the end there trying to sell literally ice to Eskimos.
Hey, I'll tell you what, man. Well, I think everyone's been there. I used to ring agencies flat out because I started working through a lot of the plant hire agencies. And I used to ring them.
When you say plant, I've heard you say that before, bro. What are they?
So they're basically like, I don't know, they're called plant hire companies, plant hire agencies. They basically find work, and usually they never used to have any of their own machines. Now a lot of them are starting to get a lot of their own equipment. But I think they originally started as companies that didn't have any of their own. They just had a list of subbies that were available with certain machines. They'd go and win jobs, and then they'd call those subbies and say, hey, we need a 5-tonner tomorrow in this area. Go there, and then they take a little bit, they tell you what they're going to pay you, and then obviously they're getting a bit of a cut from the customer, but they find the work for you. And it was easy. It was good. It's like an employment agency, but you're actually registering your machine with them.
That's pretty sick. I wish we had something like that over here.
Yeah, there must be something in WA. I'm surprised because some of the other states are saying the same thing. I'm surprised they haven't got it, man.
No, I've never heard of anything like that. We've got, if you want a 600 tonner, we can get you one tomorrow. That's how many machines are over here.
Yeah.
You can get anything you want over here on dry hire. That's what makes it hard.
Yeah. The only thing is that, obviously they take a cut. So, a lot of times they take a pretty big cut, like, I don't know, 15%, whatever it is. And it affects you, especially when I had employees and that, it was a bit harder because then once they deduct their commission from that hourly rate, then I've got to pay my workers, and then by the time you've got nothing left by the end of it virtually, So that's the only thing. When you're an owner operator, it might probably work well, and it's good if you don't want to have to chase work. They find all the work for you. Once you get in and you establish a good relationship, they'll keep you on the books and keep you going and find the work for you. I was actually really good with one of the agencies, and then I actually had to travel for a bit, and I just said, look, man, my machines and my workers are all yours. And I got on really well with one of the sales guys. And I said, you just ring them and tell them where they're going every day while I'm away. You just take full control. My machines are yours for the next 2 weeks. And they actually ran the machines and got it work for my guys and did it for me. It was actually really good. I don't know if they'd all do that, but I established that such a good relationship,
Sounds like you just made yourself director, CEO right there, and employed a new logistics manager in one swift move.
That's what it's almost like. Yeah, it is. It is. But there's a lot more to it. There's other things as well. And then you got to be loyal. And then if you do move on and go work somewhere else, then you go down in the list, and then you got to work your way back up again. There's all other things to it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a hierarchy.
It is. It is. Yeah. Yeah. You got to climb your
Yeah.
way up into the A list. So yeah, I don't know. But it was a way to get in without having to go search for the work myself. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. We had I was supervising for a company on a project, and we kept hiring a lot of this, like we kept dry hiring a lot of this equipment that really was no good. We had a lot of issues with it. Um, some operators' fault, some actual machinery faults, but everything we kept getting was just below standard, or like really not what we needed, or would run for a day or two and something, just issues. And I remember thinking, if I come on board as a vendor with the company I'm currently working for, because I'm the supervisor, maybe they'll just pick me and we can sort out some sort of deal. Never, not even close. They were like, "Oh, it's a conflict of interest," and there's me like, "Oh, I've got this thing here. What do you think?" And they're like, "Nah."
Yeah.
But that was about probably the closest to, I wouldn't say agency, but maybe having the inside scoop on the outside story sort of thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's true. That's true. Yeah, yeah. I don't know. Yeah, like you say, there's probably conflicts of interest there and that, but I'm sure a lot of companies do that stuff too. A lot of them
Yeah.
would. Yeah. Even some of these agencies that I'm talking about, some of the sales guys ended up buying their own equipment and then putting it through the
I think that's
agency.
kind of the game, eh? That's
Yeah.
what a lot of them do.
Yeah, and now a lot of the agencies have got their own machinery, their own trucks, and they stick it up with the agency name on there, and there's all sorts of stuff. Then now they also offer, if you want to get your machine stickered, they'll guarantee you more work if you put their stickers on your machines, and
Yeah.
there's all sorts of stuff, man. But they're like some people are diehard plant hire operators. They just love doing that because they don't have to worry about looking for work. They get their money straight away. The plant hire chases the customers. They don't have to worry about any of that
When you
stuff.
say the work, was it like a day here, or was it like good lengths of work?
It can vary, yeah. Sometimes they'll get you on the civil site, and you might be on there for 6 months. You know what I mean? And you just
Yeah, right.
work along. You give them at the end of the week, you send in a timesheet or a docket, and then that's it. They put it into the customer. They chase the money, and they just pay you. So it's actually it works out not bad sometimes. Yeah.
Here's me, like end of the month plus 30 days, hoping, fingers crossed, waiting, and you could just have something like that going.
Yeah.
I've never heard of anything like that in Western
Yeah.
Australia.
Oh,
I've
no.
heard it for recruitment, but
Yeah, they are. They're still 30 days though. They are 30 days, yeah. But like
okay.
they might be with some civil companies. They might be on 45 days or 60 days. So at least you don't have to wait for that. You just do your 30 days, and there are some agencies that will pay you, 7 days or 14 days. It depends, And some of those smaller guys will pay you in 14 days, but you might have only like 1 day here, 2 days there. Depends. But
Yeah.
if you establish good relationships with them, like a lot of times I used to use their trucks, so that I used to say, if I need tip trucks, I'll just use you guys. And then they already have a tip site somewhere because, they're regularly doing work. So they'll know which tip sites to go to and that. So I just ring and say, hey, I need 2 tip trucks tomorrow, 2 10-ton tip trucks to come in and remove some soil. And they'll say, what is it? And then I'll give you a rate for the trucks and a rate for the soil. And then that's it. Like makes it a bit easier as well.
That's pretty good. That's good as well if they've organised stuff like that. I remember the tip saga living in Sydney. That was full on. Credit to the crew that run it over there. Full credit to his people running trucking dogs, and I think we have for one job we had like 7 or 8 bogeys on repeat. Like, oh goodness, like
Yeah.
credit to his. And they were driving to like the sunny coast from Avalon to go tip off, and
Yeah, yeah. That's where the agencies can be good too, because they already know all the local tip sites, where to go, how much they are, and which is something that you have to do yourself if you want to try and do the whole job on your own.
yeah.
And what do you do that? Do you offer any like end to end stuff? Like, do you do like full jobs, or do you just do mainly hourly stuff?
Currently, no. In the future, 100%. Right now, where we are, in the past I have as well. Currently, we're just on I'm on a big civil drainage job at the moment. So, I've got a fair bit of trenching in this one. In fact, probably one of the biggest trenches I've ever dug. It's colossal, which is good. But yeah, we're digging there. Once we finish that, it looks like there's more drainage work in the pipeline, which is fine. But not actually taking on the whole job myself, more just as the subby coming in to support the bigger job. Especially with these, so like your retention payments and all this sort of stuff for that if you take on the big jobs. I have no issue. I believe I could do them. I believe I could complete them on time and all that sort of stuff and to spec. But I'm just one guy with one machine. Like I don't want to take on board all that risk just yet. Maybe in the future, you never know.
Yeah.
But right now, I mean, I'd love to buy a dozer next. I guess that's the next one, a D6. That's probably the plan. I
Mm-hmm.
think a 36 and a D6 would go really hand in hand for now. I need to squirrel away a fair few more pennies. But yeah, once I had something like that going with probably an employee at that stage, I think we can fully scope out jobs ourselves and yeah, go from there.
Yeah, that's a fair call. And two different machines, yeah, altogether. So yeah, there you go, man. You know, have an entire package.
Yeah.
Well, just speaking about tip sites again, what's it like there? What's it like in WA? Is there like an abundance of tip sites, or is
It's
it also how is it?
Yeah, it's basically half of Australia, WA. It's pretty big.
Yeah,
So you've got all the space in the world, mate. So there's obviously in the suburbs, which I don't deal a lot with. I could see that could be quite contested, but there's a lot of those, like free fill here, free fill there. A lot of people need fill.
yeah,
A lot of people might not get clean fill, even though they think they're getting it. But
y-
there's a lot of that sort of stuff.
yeah,
But yeah, out of like, I'm more in the country sort of thing, so there's plenty of that stuff going on. There's always some bloke that wants, he'll never get enough dirt for this bold idea he's got, sort of thing. So you're pretty fortunate in that sort of space.
yeah,
But then again, a lot of the jobs I'm on personally, we're going for the cut and fill sort of jobs. So we might be taking 100,000 cube from one side and moving it 600 meters down the road to spread it out over an area, sort of thing. So yeah, the cut fill sort of stuff. So they hold on to a lot of it as well on the site. So
yeah. It's not like little residential jobs where you got to get rid of a couple of truckloads. Yeah, yeah, true.
no, it's so like, well, I think we'd be doing 6,000, 7,000 cube a day currently.
Yeah,
And then yeah, which is funny because it comes from the back in the mining part of me. Remember we used to do you're doing, I don't know, what was it, 55, 60,000 ton in a 12-hour shift sort of things.
jeez, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. How do you handle the heat there, man? Because I know WA can get pretty hot. How do you handle that, man?
I don't, man. I'm a big fella. I sweat heaps. I
Yeah,
suffer through it, but I just get it done. Keep your fluids up, soldier on, head down, ass up. But
yeah,
you're dead right. No, it gets stinking, especially up north. It can be nothing to be 40 degrees by 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning, or maybe not 7:30. Or sometimes, yeah, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. It could be 40 degrees up there. Especially inland, Marble Bar, Newman. It can be really hot. And I don't mind the heat so much. It's the flies.
yeah.
They are from the devil. They're on a new level, basically.
Yeah, man. Yeah, because they must have like heat policies and stuff, like for laborers and that. Would they have like when
Yeah,
do
for
they get
sure,
sent
man.
home and stuff when it's a bit too hot?
Maybe not sent home, but you have like cool zones and things like that they build. So it sounds funny, but like in some of the restrictions and some of the procedures is that they'd say up north with the mine sites and the mining companies you work for, you have to have a cool zone, which is where basically the car stays running, so you can hop in there and the aircon's been on the whole day, sort of thing. And yeah, yeah, they really, especially if it's really hot, they don't expect too much of you. They just
Yeah,
want you to get what you can get done and don't push yourself because it is pretty serious, especially when you're working remote. There's really not that much help out there if you stuff up. So
yeah,
yeah, no real being the hero. We can finish this sort of move. Yeah.
yeah. What about? Tell me a little bit about like theft and that. Like, do people break into the machines on site? Are they milking the diesel and stuff there, or is it not that bad?
Don't say that because I've just realised I've left my mushrooms on the back of my GPS this afternoon.
Jinxed you. Oh, no.
Yeah, my machine's in Victoria. If anyone's looking.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Then it will definitely go. It will definitely wouldn't be there by the morning. Yeah.
Yeah, so no, I've had an experience down south, like near Margaret River. That's where we kind of did a lot of work. That's where I lived for a while. We had like a case there. This is what I mean. Probably not a lot, no, but this is like one case I remember. I filled the machine up on Friday Arvo, and it was like I think it was like a case, 40 ton or something. Filled it, and then come in on Monday morning, and she was bone dry. There wasn't a drop in it, and I was like,
Far out.
like 450 liters into that thing. Like,
Yep.
jeez. So yeah, it was
Yeah.
that's probably one case, and then I personally haven't had too many issues from memory. Nothing that really strikes to mind. I know maybe south of where I am, like maybe 100 km south of where I am, probably could be a little bit hay going. I know a lot of people run them. Like the click-in shields that you
Oh,
put up over your
yeah, the vandal covers. Yeah.
yeah. I know some people run them. I mean, that's probably from experience they've had, but I haven't had any of that. I
Wow.
touch wood.
It's funny you say that, man, because in Victoria, like every machine comes with vandal covers, man, because it's just
Yeah, right.
very prominent, man. Machines get milked. You got to always, all your, usually everyone on the bigger machines will get like a little box welded on top of the fuel cap with a padlock on it, so you can have that extra protection. And yeah, vandal covers, cameras. People are putting cameras on there,
Yeah.
alarms, GPS tracking. Yeah, like it's pretty bad. Like even recently on some Facebook pages and stuff, and even in some of the other groups and that, the people are just saying daily, like, man, we just got milked, or they've got video footage of a car taking fuel, and they're like, does anyone know this ute? So it's very prominent, man. It's crazy.
Just get a job, you bum. Stop fleecing other people's hard-earned things. I
Yeah.
guess I've been pretty fortunate in that space. I obviously have your standard lock, but I don't have the padlock one. I haven't seen one of the padlock ones either, so
Yeah.
that'd be interesting to see. But I suppose I haven't been really in the metro area, man, so I'm probably not the best example for that, if you know what I
Yeah.
mean. Like, I've always been like north, which is really remote, and you're definitely covered because you're on private property, like these giant mine sites. Or currently in a pretty quiet town, or I've been really far south, so I haven't been in the metro scene a lot. But
Yeah.
that,
That it'll probably change. Yeah, it probably would be more prominent in the metro areas.
I think when we got the call for the first job we had, I was supervising on another job, and like just up there, and then I was like, oh, what? Oh, you need this by when? Then it was like Monday 4 p.m. They rang us, and they're like, oh, can you be here at Wednesday 7 a.m. digging? And this is 4 p.m. Monday arvo, and I'm up north. I'm like 1,500 k's away, and they want the machine from where it was currently to where they were, like about 150 k's away themselves from where it was. And I was like, yeah, don't worry about it. We'll be there. And I've clearly employed someone. Like, I've rang a mate and been like, oh, mate, come on, rah. And he's gone and done a great job. It just that like, what's the word for it? Like, for a split second, I was like, oh yeah, we're just killing it. We're doing it.
Yeah.
And then obviously, you've got X amount put away and whatnot, and the bills keep coming, and the money doesn't come in anywhere near as quick as you think, sort of thing. And there's a patch there where I was like, right,
Yeah.
no beers, mate. We're going to rein this in here. Like, otherwise, we're going to end up in a bit of a pickle shortly. So, and
Yeah.
you can see how it happens so quickly.
They can, man. They can. And then if you don't get, if there's a delay in the bill or in the invoice or something, and you can be easily in trouble, man. Like I've said it in my previous podcasts and stuff. Like sometimes I've had to redraw money out of the home loan and that just to keep going for a bit, and then when I get paid, I just put it all back. But it's risky sometimes. The risks that we take, crazy, man.
It's fair vid, eh? I listened to which was that one that really stuck out. I'm sure you talk a lot about stuff, so you might not remember. But you were talking about how you had a tilt, and you had a hammer on your tilt, and you had no issues, and you were saying like, oh no, you're not meant to, but I just do it, and it's been fine.
Yeah, man, I did it. I had on my on that 5. I used the hammer for ages, man, and no problem, man. Like I literally use it a lot, and sometimes on different angles. Like people say, you shouldn't angle the hammer when you've got the tilt on there. And then sometimes, if you're breaking the pool apart or something, a concrete pool, and it's like you got to have it on a slight angle. I just angle it if I had to, man, and just do it. And not all day. But like I'd angle it a little bit and just get the part I need and then go straight again. And it lasted the whole time. Never got loose. Nothing happened. I sold it like that. It was no problem, man. So I don't know. It depends what you do with it.
Yeah. No, I look, to be honest, I'm pipe for hammering, but I'm set up for trimming. I'm really not that.
Yeah.
Not yet. Maybe once we hit and by no means am I like, oh, I don't want to scratch it, but it looks pretty good, I don't want to scratch it. I don't want to. It looks Hollywood what I've got at the moment, and I'd like to maintain that for as long as we can.
Yeah, it's like
putting a hammer on a GPS machine.
Yeah, it depends. Like it's a balance, man. Like you need to make money, so it's like if the hammer work is going to be there, it's like and sorting and shaking and that. If you got to do it, sometimes you just have to. If that's going to be the money maker, you got to do it, and that's where the money is sometimes in those attachments,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I was just going to say that if I was ever going down the road, if I was going to get a hammer, I'd commit to a saw as well. I've done a fair bit of that. It was pretty loose what I used to do. Thinking about it now in reflection, like on these little diggers with these ginormous saws on them, like 3.5 tonners with saws that are like just massive for it. But yeah, it's ridiculous. But like now in reflection, if I went down the road of that, I'd probably go down the road of getting a saw as well, just because you get that cleaner finish at the end. So, you might have all that chisel work look, but you can just give it one little slither down back and it can be your new retaining wall sort of thing, or
Yeah.
whatever you're after. It can look really neat and tidy.
Yeah, true. That could be good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know, like that size machine, when I sit in 35s, usually I'm doing like sewer work in them.
Yeah.
And usually, yeah, like in Melbourne, we've got heaps of rocks. Usually that 35 is, yeah, for breaking rock in the sewer trench, putting, the trench boxes in and stuff like that. And then also sorting the material later and loading out. So, I don't know, maybe there will be a time where you'll have to get, that sort of stuff.
Not just yet.
Not just yet. Not just
Not
yet.
just yet.
Look, it depends. Yeah, it depends what you do. But that also, saying that, the guys that I'm jumping into 35 for is they're plumbers. So all their work is plumbing and trenching. So
Yeah. Yeah.
there's no detail work there. You know what I mean?
Have you
Yeah.
have you ever found like I suppose this is a bit of reflection from myself here, but like I found within the Earthworks community that no one's well, not no one. Some people are too cool to talk to you. They're too big already. They're too on the man. But I've found like, especially having a red hot crack and going into what I've done at the level I've gone at it about, I found the community to be inviting. And then also some people will tell you things you don't want to hear, like, oh, shit time to buy, oh, market's tight, and they're going to say things, but
Yeah.
they're being better than your friend telling you, hey, you can make it. Like, they're just being
Yeah.
honest about what it is currently. So
Yeah.
found that recently that the community around us within the Earthworks game, especially, I'm in Western Australia. I've reached out to even yourself, or I reached out to Jimi on a message and got chatting to him, and he even started sharing our posts and things like that. That's great. I appreciate it a lot. It's great. I mean, we've got a lot of followers from over there, which doesn't really win us any work in WA, but it's still really cool that people will go out of their way. You're just a little guy having a go, but you still get
Yeah.
that.
It gives you exposure, I suppose, What I do have to say, though, is that maybe it's changing a little bit. Maybe people are a little bit better now and, a bit more open, and they've probably got no choice because there's no hiding anymore. Like, through all this social stuff, everyone just tells everyone everything,
Yeah.
But I think in the past, it was either maybe the guys that were a bit hard were often other owner operators, and they're a bit scared that you're going to come in and start undercutting them and taking their work, so they'd be a bit hard on you and not help you as much. But also sometimes the guys that were maybe a little bit jealous because there might have been operators that are sitting in machines thinking, "Oh, I wish that was me," and then they see this young guy coming in having a crack, and they're like little bit jealous and don't want to help. Maybe that, but I think nowadays
I've copped that, bro.
Yeah.
I've copped that. I've copped that
Yeah.
beyond belief. But then saying that, from the people that have helped me and assisted me or guided me, even semi-stitched me up just for a laugh, even like that that I've definitely copped that. What are you doing, mate? You don't need
Yeah.
that sort of a bit of that, but you just take it on the chin and like kind of hold my beer.
Yeah.
Watch this, like you've got to you got to back yourself a bit, and like you say,
Yeah.
you get those people that aren't too. Or maybe not even those people, but you have a lot of that. Once you've done the hard work, once it's all set up, then I'll come help you. Or I'll
Yeah.
come work for you. Then you're like,
Yeah.
hang on, once I've done all the hard shit, now you want to come enjoy the cream?
Yeah. And you know what? Sometimes I wish I listened a bit. Like, sometimes I thought people were just like doing exactly what we said, like being a little bit arrogant or not helpful. But the advice they were giving me was probably actually right. Like, I remember I was looking at doing some Telstra work, and I was sitting in my 20 with another guy, and he had his 20 tonner next to mine, and we're both doing civil work. And then I said to him, I bought a 1.7. And he goes, "Oh, what'd you buy that for?" And I said, "Oh, I'm going to be doing a little bit of Telstra work." And he's like, "Oh man, trust me, you don't want to do that. Why would you want to go do that? You can sit in your 20 and, I mean, you're going to be doing asbestos work and, all this sort of stuff, taking out old Telstra pits." And he's like, "I wouldn't do it." And I was like, "What's he know? He's just telling me he doesn't want to see me succeed." And then after I didn't enjoy doing it and stopped doing it, I seen him once and he's like, "How's that Telstra work going?" I said, yeah. I suppose sometimes they might actually be genuinely being helpful, but we just get sometimes a bit too much, too proud and like, nah, man, he's just telling me he doesn't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, no, but you do you because you assume what you're thinking, and you're like, man, I'm onto it. I'm doing something good here. Hang on, you don't agree with me? Like, you're hesitant to want to take it on, but I've been pretty fortunate with like people being straight down the line with me to the point where like and I've kind of taken it more on board, and like if it hurts when what they're saying, it's probably because they're right. Or
Yeah.
if you're like, oh, shut up, mate, just take a breath and take it on board for a bit and be like, oh, hang on.
Yeah.
Sometimes I've definitely gone whatever and gone ahead with it, and it has bit me in the ass. But
Yeah. And you know what I've heard a lot, and I'm hearing a lot still, is a lot of people start off on their own, owner operator, similar to yourself and how I started, and then they get this idea to keep building, get massive, have a massive thing, become like Starbucks, huge company,
yeah, Jimmy
and then
Starbucks from the West or something. Yeah.
yeah, then they all start then they realize it's not as easy, and then things go wrong, and then they start going down and reducing, and they're back to just square one again, back on one machine. And then they're the guys that when you ask them when you're first coming into it, and they say, "Oh man, I wouldn't bother. You putting an operator on, what for?" And then I remember one guy told me when I first started, he was in his 20-tonner as well, another guy, and he was saying, I just sit in this machine. When I work, I work. When I don't, I park it up. I go on holidays. I come back. I never have to worry about anything else. Everyone
Yeah.
knows who I am
Yeah.
and how I work, so I easily just jump back straight in again. And he goes, I don't care. The machine's paid off, and that's all I do. And I was like, yeah, but he doesn't know what he's talking about.
No,
And then
I've heard this saying, and I agree with you completely, because obviously when the phone rings a bit, you get all excited and you're like, oh, sick, here we go. Oh, maybe I need to get this other one. Oh, I'm too busy here. But I heard this saying and I thought it was pretty cool, because I don't have any intention personally of being like a billionaire and balancing, 20 people's wages or anything. I really couldn't think of anything worse personally. What is it? It's like stay small enough, long enough, you'll be big enough soon enough. Where
I,
I think
I
that's
like
just
that.
straight to the point, man. Leave the big stuff for those guys. I just want to make what I'm after and achieve what I want to achieve. Obviously, it's easy now to claim that and say that,
Yeah,
because we all get ideas, we've all got egos, but at the same time, it's pretty easy to stand behind it and just cruise. Like you're
yeah.
saying about your mate, he's just got his machine, he does that, makes his money, does his thing. That's called the perfect job, really, isn't it? Like you've done it.
Yeah, and I remember he was saying, he goes, I've still got the same machine. And he still has it to this day. I've seen him around. He just has his SK210, an old 21-ton Cabalco.
Yeah,
Never upgrades it. Just keeps it nice and clean. Does
yeah,
does the jobs he wants. I remember when he was on site though, he did have a little bit of pull. Like he'd tell him, "I'm not doing that," or "I'm not doing this," and he'd go and be a bit picky. But that's because he was so good and been there for so long.
yep,
Like he wouldn't want to do. He'd rather go and do all the pipe, help all the pipe layers, and they all used to ask for him, because they knew he was really good. So he'd just
yeah.
do the selective work. But you know what? Then he'd say to me like, I'd park it up and go overseas for 3 months and come back, and then I know they're always going to have work for me, if not them, someone else, because I'm pretty known. And he goes, "That's all you need, man." And he was always saying like, just don't think too big.
Yeah, well, I suppose everyone gets the ideas of well, maybe personally, I've broken it down and thought about it a fair bit, being like, all right, if you've got 10 pieces of gear, and like say 10 of the size I've got, that's $4 million worth of machinery, right? And I don't have that sort of money, so a lot of that's going to be ticked up. Then you have all those wages to pay, all those float bills, all that fuel, all that stuff, all that. So at the end of the year, so to speak, you might have had so much money circulate through your accounts if you're busy and if you're killing it. But how much of that is actually yours, realistically?
Yeah,
How much do you
yeah.
actually make?
You might turn over $1 million, and then 900 and something is expenses. So
Exactly. No, but honestly,
yeah,
that's what I mean by that. So and sometimes you rob Peter to pay Paul on jobs. You're like, oh, I painted on this one, but we took this to keep. We lost a bit. However you go about it. So
yeah, yeah.
yeah, I think just staying small enough for long enough will be big enough soon enough is more than
Oh,
all you
I
need.
like that. I like that saying. What is it? Stay small enough for long enough. What was it?
So if you stay small enough for long enough,
Yeah,
you'll be big enough soon enough.
you'll be big enough. Sorry, I've got to write this down.
Yeah,
You'll be
it's all
big
good.
enough
Soon
soon.
enough.
I love that, man. I'm gonna.
Just let it take its course.
Yeah, man. I love that. I love that saying. I might use that and tag you in on it. I love it. I love it. That's good. That's a good saying. That's good. Yeah. And I'm hearing it's very common, man. Very, very common.
Yeah.
Oh, there
So
you go. Well, yeah.
I was going to say there was a good bloke who's helped me a fair bit. A bloke named Matty Chapman. He's got all excavator hire over here, and he just said he's like, if I give you any advice, just keep digging by yourself. What are you doing? Don't get carried away because this and that. And I've kind of followed that a fair bit. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. What's your plan? Yeah. What's your plan for the next, I don't know, let's just say 5 years, man?
Man, like the next 5 years is honestly take on board as much as you can, take on as much work as I can, but also not overextend myself. That's probably the best way to put it.
Yeah.
It's pretty easy to get, like I say, so excited and carried away and, oh, we got this, we got that. Like you just get frothing. Like I really do. And I'm not in this game for free, obviously. I mean, we're all in this game for the same reason, like make
Yeah.
some money. And I really also love dirt, so that comes in handy. Next 5 years would be pretty straightforward. Just grow the business to a positive area rather than being in the negative like we are now. Once we've done that, reassess really. So whether that's within 5 years or 3 years or 20, however long it takes, yeah, just get the business into a positive state. So no further owings on the machine, sort of thing. And reassess once we own the machine, then reassess. That's probably the best way to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's it, man. That's it. Well, like you said, man, it's already a massive amount. So it's like, yeah, how far do you go? Borrowing more and more money. Like,
Well, in Western Australia,
scary.
like my little brother just bought his first house. There's 55 grand between my machine and his first house.
Yeah.
You know, like there's people out there that are going to take 25 years to pay off their mortgages or whatnot, or just, however long it takes people. And I've got a goal to try and get rid of that within about 3 years. So
Yeah.
really got to get after it.
Oh, there you go, man. At least that's a goal too. Anyway, yeah, that's part of it. Trying to smash out the loan for it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, good, man. Good. Well, you know what, man? I think it's been an awesome chat, and I think listeners could have picked up a lot out of this, especially people that are looking at jumping in, and they can see that you don't always have to start with the small machines. I started with the 20 as well, man. So people used to tell me I'm crazy. So starting with the 36 is probably similar, but even bigger actually. So, like it does.
No,
there's
but
not.
it's the same thing. Everyone's like, "Oh man, you're getting that. You should have this backing behind you of this or that." Personally, could have been handy if I had a bit more money behind me, but we just keep digging, make it work.
Yeah. Yeah, when is the right time? There's never really that right
There's
time.
never a right time. And to be honest with you, I told my little brother I'd help him purchase a house on the same day that I thought I was going to get declined the finance for the machine. And I thought my brother might get declined his finance sort of thing. They both got approved on the same day. And I'd like have my money balanced for like either one sort of thing, like which way I was going on how I was going to do things.
Yeah.
But they got both done. You make ways, you make it happen sort of thing. So
Yeah. And that's another thing too, man. For anyone that's listening, you got to try different things, be persistent, and as Jimmy was, in finding like work, being persistent. It's the same with banks. And if you're going for a loan for a machine and you get knocked back, try a different one. Try a broker. Try going through the dealerships. They might get some more pull. Like there's always different ways, man. You can do things. Don't give up on the first hurdle.
I went to the bank. That's a good point you say that. They were like, "Oh, we give you a loan of we do personal loans of up to $50,000." And I'm like, right, that might pay for the GPS. And then I was like, I need a loan for about this. Obviously I've got savings here. I have a house there. Can I use the equity from that? Can I do what can I do sort of thing? And they were like, well, how long's the company been this and that? Oh, this is way too hard. You guys are pricks. Catch you later. And went down the road getting a machine broker and having a red hot go that way.
Yeah, that's it. So there's alternatives. Don't give up straight away, man. Because a lot of people don't know. They think the bank's the final call, but it's not. You can go other ways. Brokers, like you say, especially if they're machine related, like a machine broker, they'll find a way for you.
Yeah, exactly. No, probably just means you asked the wrong person.
Yeah, and the brokers know. I remember one of my brokers told me it's all about how what he used to say is, you tell me what you want, and I'll paint the picture to the bank. I'll tell them what they want to hear. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they know what to say.
Yeah. So we go in and say something, and he's going to come in with, the LinkedIn model of what we're trying to say.
Yeah, that's it, man. That's it. Although I'm sure nowadays they probably just use Chat GPT for everything. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Man, yeah, the AI is taking over. Do you use AI for anything or not really?
I don't use AI for anything. I've been really fortunate with our brand designs and all that stuff to rely on a couple of mates that have pursued the graphic design stuff. Or I'm really fortunate. If anything we've needed down the road of what we've been after since starting, I've been able to usually hit a mate up or hit someone up that knows someone, and that's worked well. I haven't used AI, but I have in obviously I've worked with the autonomous trucks and all that sort of stuff up north. And the diggers, there's too much discrepancy within them yet. But, we've worked with autonomous dozers, water carts, trucks, things like that. So it is scary a little bit, that side of life.
Yeah. That would be
Yeah.
scary, man.
It's
That'd be
coming. Like, it's definitely coming.
man. So they're running around with nobody in there. Yeah, the machines are just the
Yeah, like
trucks are just.
so 340 ton on the back of it, fully loaded truck. So it weighs probably 500 ton just driving itself at 60 kilometers an hour, full piss down the haul road. No one in it. No one
That's
in.
crazy, and it reverses under the bucket. Yeah, so he'll reverse up under the machine
Oh,
where
like
they want it.
completely. Like you put your switch back in. So say you're digging this way, the truck will enter the area. Like it'll come through here. It goes, dude, and it's perfect. It's better than a human can do it. I know that's going to seem crazy, but when it's in its moment doing its thing, there's a reason they invented it. It's way better. It's also
Yeah,
safer too, but it's way better.
yeah, yeah. Man, that's crazy. I think in the future, the only mining jobs that are going to be guaranteed are just like the diesel fitters and mechanics because they're still going to have to
Oh,
fix
it'll be
things.
the now you'll need like the human interaction out within the pits, so you'll still need the they're not perfect, don't get me wrong. It's really good running, but when the issues do arise, you still need human interaction there. So you still need that you know, your pit designers, your people to check on the trucks. The trucks are really good, they'll stop because there was like a rock in the way or dust or whatever it is, or so you've got to then start them again manually by driving out and you do it from the screen in your car, but you've still got to be there. So you still need the humans for that. By no means would we be completely out of jobs. They would be limited, yes.
Yeah,
Maybe not
yeah,
in our lifetime though, but after that probably like completely no humans. Yeah.
yeah. Crazy, man, crazy. And what about like electric and that? Are they all electric or still like diesel or what's the go?
Twiggy's got some bullshit great idea. That's the best words for it. A load of shit. It looks
Yeah,
good on paper and gets other people involved, and you can spend other people's money. But that's a different chat.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
No, they're not fully electric. So you got like your Komatsu 8Es, 930Es. So they're not all electric. They drink. Oh, they must drink 4,000 liters of diesel every 24 hours. Yeah, they love it.
Far out.
Hopefully, yeah, they absolutely love it. But
Yeah, crazy.
you've got shovels and stuff. So this will make you laugh. The new excavators from Liebherr, like your 9400s. All electric, as they say, all electric, fantastic. And they've got these cable reels that come off the counterweight sort of thing, not off the counterweight, but they sit below on the H frame where you like drive where your track motors are. It's like a extension cord, if you will, that runs the whole way back. And
Wow.
you can look it up if you go into the Liebherr website, look up the 9400, you'll see it, and it runs the whole way back. And it's like an extension cable. It runs all the way back because it's all electric, right? To a diesel generator that waits at the end of the bench that needs to be fueled with diesel. So
Crazy.
it's pretty stupid, really. It's all electric, running
Yeah.
from a diesel generator.
I suppose their thought behind that is maybe the generator only needs a little bit of diesel compared to that machine. You know, who knows? Who knows? There must be some thought behind it.
Something
But
like that. But the
yeah,
power to weight ratio and the breakout force
not
isn't
the
really
same.
behind those machines. It's not the same.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's another thing, man. Like you say, it's probably a chat for another
Yeah,
session. But
100%, man.
that's definitely I don't know. That's a lot of people have got opinions on that stuff. It'd be good, actually. I might have to do a podcast where we just talk about electric stuff. But I'd need to get a couple of guys with experience in that too. You know. There
But
you
yeah,
go.
that's a whole different can of worms, man. That could take a while. Eh?
Yeah.
It's a fair bit in that.
Yeah, there you go. Well, it looks like you've had a bit of experience in everything, man. So I'm glad that you came on for a bit of a chat. And I'm sure, like I was saying a bit earlier, I think a lot of the listeners would have learnt a fair bit out of this. And yeah, I wish you all the best with your business and your machine. And I think just keep digging, man, for now, and see how it goes. Maybe we'll touch base again in the near future and see how it's going for you.
I really appreciate that, man. Thank you, and thanks for having me on. If anyone learnt anything, I hope it's just don't do anything I've done. That'd be the best bit of advice. But at the same time, have a crack. And there is no like written law schedule of how you're meant to do things, whatever age you are. That's probably the best way to put it.
Yeah, yeah. And I think also what I've learnt is persistence, man. You can't just give up on the first hurdle, man. Like just keep calling people, keep making everyone know that you've got machines available, and that whatever if you can't get one, go to another place to find a loan, or just keep persisting, man. That's it.
Just Google any word you can look up to do with earthworks, digger, bucket, whatever you're after, and whatever comes up, call them. Even if it's a dealership that sells the light bulbs for the for the, your orange flashing light. They
Yeah.
might know someone. Do you get what I mean? Just call.
Yes.
And the worst thing someone say to you is, nah. That's or no. Big deal. Next. Keep going.
That's the one, man. That's the one. I love it. I love it. Great attitude. Great advice. For anyone that wants to get any more information or check out what you do, go to the Dirt Cartel on Instagram. Are you on any other platforms as well?
Yeah, we're on LinkedIn. Obviously, that's I'm gonna be honest. I know other people are. I think it's a load of shit. Everyone fully fluffs themselves up way bigger than they actually are. They all make out like they're bigger than Ben-Hur.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, just on Instagram. We're more of a bit of a novelty on there at the moment. Like a lot of our footage and stuff like that. We have other stuff coming where it's actually our work. But we were just trying to. If you watch it, you'll see it's just generally being honest, having a go. We show probably more than you meant to of us just stuffing up, really. But it's
Yeah.
relatable. That's what we think. So yeah.
Good. Well, go check it out, guys. The Dirt Cartel. Jimmy, thank you very much for joining us. And like I said, I wish you all the best with everything, man.
All right, cheers, man. Thanks for having me, and thanks for putting up with the technical difficulties there.
No worries, man. That's not. If anyone listens to me regularly, they'll know that I'm always having technical difficulties, man. It just works against me. But no, this was nothing. No, good. Thanks, man. Thank you to everyone else as well. Thank you very much for joining us. Make sure you do join us on all the other podcasts, all available on Patreon, Spotify, Apple, YouTube. I don't even know what else. There's a few other little ones there, some other smaller platforms, but go on there and also check out Earthworks Hub's website. So we've got www.earthworkshub.com.au, and also check out our YouTube videos, reviews, site visits, all sorts of things on there. Just go and check it all out. And make sure you join us every Sunday for our live podcasts at 8 p.m. on Instagram. All right, guys, thanks for listening. Take care. See you in the next one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
For tracks, obviously. On the lot.
He became steel resistant.